Did you know that a single faulty EGR valve can increase your car's emissions by up to 50 times the normal level and reduce your chances of passing your next emission test by 70%? That's the power of this critical yet often overlooked part of your car, the EGR valve. Welcome back to Auto Fix Diary. Today, we are exploring the 10 symptoms of a malfunctioning EGR valve and explain why addressing them early is crucial for maintaining both your car's efficiency and our air quality. But first, what is an EGR valve? An exhaust gas recirculation valve is a mechanical component made of metal and consists of a valve body, a valve seat, and a movable valve mechanism, which can be controlled by a vacuum, an electric motor, or a solenoid. The valve is often connected to the engine's intake and exhaust systems via tubing or passages. Its location? It's usually found in internal combustion engine at the top of the gasoline-diesel engine, connecting to a pipe that runs from the exhaust to the catalytic converter. And what does the EGR valve do? The EGR valve reduces nitrogen oxide emissions by recirculating a portion of the engine's exhaust gases back into the combustion chamber. The inert exhaust gases displace some of the oxygen in the intake mixture, reducing the formation of harmful nitrogen oxide during combustion. By introducing a small amount of exhaust gas into the combustion chamber, the EGR valve helps lower the combustion temperature. How does the EGR valve work? The EGR valve works by opening and closing to allow a controlled amount of exhaust gas to flow from the exhaust manifold back into the intake manifold. The valve is controlled by the engine's engine control unit, which adjusts its operation based on engine load, speed, and temperature to optimize emissions and performance. So, what happens when your EGR valve fails? Let's uncover the top warning signs you can't ignore. By the end of this video, you'll know all the symptoms of a bad EGR valve and how to fix them. The first symptom of a faulty EGR valve is the check engine light coming on. Modern vehicles are equipped with sensors that constantly monitor the EGR system's performance. When the valve gets stuck open, closed, or clogged, it disrupts the flow of exhaust gases, causing the system to malfunction. This disruption is quickly detected by the sensors, which send a signal to the car's computer. The computer then logs an error code related to the EGR system and illuminates the check engine light to alert you of the issue. Later in the video, we shall discuss the specific error codes associated with a malfunctioning EGR system. Keep watching. 2. Rough idling. A faulty EGR valve can cause your engine to idle roughly or even stall. When the valve gets stuck open, it allows too much exhaust gas to recirculate, disrupting the air-fuel mixture. This imbalance makes your engine struggle to maintain a steady RPM, leading to that annoying, shaky feeling. If your car feels like it's vibrating excessively at stoplights or in park, it's time to inspect the EGR valve. Ignoring this symptom can lead to more severe engine issues down the road. 3. Failed emissions test. A bad EGR valve can cause your car to fail an emissions test. The valve's job is to reduce nitrogen oxide emissions by recirculating exhaust gases. If it's not working, your car will emit higher levels of pollutants. If you're due for an emissions test and suspect your EGR valve is faulty, get it checked beforehand. It could save you from costly retests and repairs. 4. Excess smoke from exhaust. A failing EGR valve causes excessive smoke from the exhaust. When the valve is stuck open, it allows too much exhaust gas to recirculate into the combustion chamber. This dilutes the air-fuel mixture, leading to incomplete combustion. Unburned fuel then exits the exhaust as thick, black smoke. If your EGR valve is stuck closed, it can cause blue or white smoke from the exhaust. A closed valve increases combustion temperatures, which can burn engine oil or coolant. Blue smoke indicates burning oil, while white smoke suggests coolant is entering the combustion chamber. Both scenarios are harmful to your engine and can lead to costly repairs if ignored. 5. Foul exhaust odor. If you're catching whiffs of something foul from your tailpipe, a faulty EGR valve could be the culprit. When the valve gets stuck closed, it fails to recirculate exhaust gases back into the combustion chamber. This causes the engine to run hotter, increasing the production of nitrogen oxides. These gases have a sharp, pungent odor that's hard to ignore. Before we reveal more symptoms that could hit your wallet hard, why not smash that like button and subscribe? Trust me, it's your first step to dodging those costly car issues. 6. Poor fuel economy. Feeling the pinch at the pump? A faulty EGR valve could be draining your wallet. When the EGR valve gets stuck closed, your engine runs hotter, increasing nitrogen oxide emissions and forcing it to work harder. This extra strain burns more fuel than necessary, tanking your fuel economy. On the flip side, if the valve is stuck open, it disrupts the air-fuel mixture, making your engine less efficient. Either way, a bad EGR valve means more trips to the gas station. 7. Engine stalling. Your engine stalling can be caused by a dozen things, but here's one sneaky culprit you might not expect: a failing EGR valve. When the EGR valve gets stuck open, it allows too much exhaust gas to flood the intake manifold. This disrupts the air-fuel mixture, making it too lean for proper combustion. As a result, your engine struggles to maintain idle and can even shut off completely. 8. Hard starting. A faulty EGR valve can cause starting troubles if it's stuck open. This malfunction allows excessive exhaust gases to enter the intake manifold, even when starting the engine. These gases can dilute the fuel-air mixture needed for ignition, making it harder for the engine to start or causing it to stall shortly after starting. 9. Overheating engine. One of the parts to check out when your temperature gauge is creeping into the red zone is the EGR valve. This valve plays a crucial role in reducing engine temperature by recirculating a portion of the exhaust gases back into the engine combustion chamber. This process lowers the combustion temperature. When the EGR valve is stuck closed, these exhaust gases don't get recirculated. As a result, the combustion temperatures increase excessively, which can cause the engine to overheat, especially under heavy loads or prolonged driving. 10. Engine knocking sounds. Engine knocking can occur when the EGR valve malfunctions and stays closed. This fault prevents exhaust gases from lowering the combustion chamber's temperature, leading to higher than normal combustion temperatures. Such conditions can cause the fuel to ignite prematurely, creating a knocking or pinging sound as the engine runs. What are the error codes for a bad EGR valve? To be sure that it is a faulty EGR valve that's causing the trouble, use the OBD scanner to check for these common trouble codes. P0400, EGR flow malfunction. P0401, EGR insufficient flow detected. P0402, EGR excessive flow detected. P0403, EGR circuit malfunction. P0404, EGR circuit range or performance. If you get any of these trouble codes from your engine control unit, you should have your EGR valve inspected by a professional. How to check the EGR valve with a vacuum pump. Step 1. Idle your engine for 10 to 15 minutes to warm it up. Step 2. Locate the thin hose from the top of the valve and disconnect it. Use a screwdriver to plug up the end of the hose. Step 3. Connect the vacuum pump to where the hose had been. Step 4. Apply the vacuum pump to the valve and observe the movement of the diaphragm. If it doesn't move, then the EGR valve is faulty. If this is the case, the engine should rough idle and ultimately stall. If this doesn't happen, the problem may not be the EGR valve, but a blocked passage within the system. How to check the EGR valve with a multimeter. Use this approach only if your EGR valve is electric. A typical multimeter costs no more than $20 at most hardware or home improvement stores. Step 1. Turn the multimeter dial to volts DC. Step 2. Find the red wire on the multimeter and attach it to the EGR circuit. Since the EGR valve has 5 circuits labeled A through E, use the one labeled C. Step 3. Now attach the black wire to the cable on your battery labeled negative. Step 4. Turn on the ignition. If you record higher volts above 9, it's time to repair the EGR system. If you don't read any volts, the EGR valve is completely damaged and needs replacement. Can a car run without an EGR valve? Although a car can operate without an EGR valve, doing so can significantly harm the environment. If the absence of the EGR valve causes the vehicle to exceed legal emission limits, it could result in a Ministry of Transport (MOT) test failure. How much does it cost to replace an EGR valve? The cost to replace an EGR valve typically ranges from $150 to $500 or more, depending on the vehicle's make and model. This includes parts around $100 to $300 and labor, around $50 to $200. Prices may vary based on location and repair shop rates. We have just explored the top symptoms of a bad EGR valve. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more car care tips. Got questions or experiences with EGR valves? Drop them in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.